Anyways, this particular headline out of this particular article is far right, comma, anti-fascist protesters temporarily shut Quebec border crossing. But listen to just that headline alone. I mean, how is that not construed by anyone with any objective reason or logic roaming around their head, right? How is that not construed as picking a political side and running with it? Far right, as we all know, that has a massive negative connotation because of the fact of the historical precedent from the fascists, right? So whether it was under Mussolini in Italy or Hitler in Germany, or even Franco in Spain. But the hilarious aspect of this, well, not funny because I don't find it funny in any way, real form, but I guess the ironic aspect of this is both of those people, whether it was Mussolini or Hitler, now Franco to a lesser extent, but the two dominant ones that we're always constantly hearing pounded and propagated constantly and put forward and presented by the established media are Mussolini and Hitler. Both of those people were born and raised as staunch socialists. You know, let that sink in your head just a little bit, right? These are collectivists, right? Mussolini, even more so than Hitler, I would say, was so staunchly socialist. I mean, his father was one of the most well-known socialists in all of Italy. And Hitler, when he come to rise to power, was under that party, you know, that party, that German party, the Nazis, you know, that short form term that we use to describe the National Socialist movement of Germany, the Nazis. You know, that's what Nazis stands for. That's the short form for National Socialist German's Worker Party Union or whatever the hell it was called. You'd have to look it up. But like I say, it takes 2 seconds. Takes a few seconds. Do a real quick search. You'll find out, oh shit, yeah. Yeah, Nazis were just National Socialists. But they're always seemingly painted as being right-wing. When in reality, if you think about it, the kind of people that are considered right-wing. If you were out today and talked to someone that said that they're right-wing, that they admitted that they're right-wing, do you think they would support socialism? Huh? Right? No. But I could find tons and tons of them, and then you could yourself go out there and talk to anyone that says, ask them if they support socialism, and then ask them what side of the political spectrum that they would align with. I guarantee the overwhelming majority, with very few exceptions, would say they're on the left, politically, right? So how the fuck these fascists of World War II, of the historical, well, it's all about who writes the books, I guess, right? Because fascism is alive and well, not just in those countries, but in our countries. This is the thing. They've adopted these political hacks, these central planning dipshits that have taken over and assumed some kind of pretense of authority in not just Canada, but the U.S. and a lot of these Western developed countries. They are the fucking modern world fascists, right? But they know how to create a better sales pitch. They know how to sell their snake oil without admitting that it's snake oil. Matter of fact, they'll point to everyone out there, hey, they're trying to sell you snake oil. But know what we got here? No, this is the real deal, right? They're just better marketers in reality. And I mean, with the propagandist outlets, the media outlets, Hollywood, television, and movies, like I say, they have all of those branches of media to propagate their fucking narrative. That's why they have so much power and so much influence in not just your personal, but social and economic lives. They propagate their fucking narrative out into so many streams and to so many venues and so many areas that your mind has been completely distorted and tricked to the fact that you don't even know that up is up and down is down. They've told you that up is down and down's up, and you believe that shit nowadays. That's how good they are at putting forth their narrative, their dialogue, their sales pitch. But I'm here to help you. I'm here to point out the fact that don't fucking listen to anything these fuckers say. They're a bunch of lying piece of shit propagandists that are trying to put forward and present a dialogue that keeps the establishment, right, the political and pundit class dominant. Amid protests, St. Bernard de la Colle border crossing in Quebec closed to passenger traffic. A standoff between far-right groups and anti-fascist protesters along the Canadian side of the U.S. border forced police to temporarily shut down the crossing near St. Bernard de la Colle, Quebec on Saturday. A separate anti-illegal immigrant rally on Parliament Hill held amid heightened concerns about the arrival of asylum seekers also provoked a handful of skirmishes as riot police stepped in to prevent physical violence. But these asylum seekers, these are illegal immigrants. These are people that are breaking Canadian law to come into this country. And the people, the media pundits and the politicians and the police that are helping them are breaking Canadian law, even though they think that they're going along even though they think they're doing things properly because their political masters are telling them, oh, it's okay. We give you permission for it. But you're breaking Canadian law by allowing these so-called asylum seekers to just come on into this country and force the Canadian population to subsidize, to pony up and pay for them to come here illegally. I mean, that's about as immoral and unjust as you could possibly get. But like I say, because the political propagandists and the media pundits are trying to soothe and smooth and paint over that reality, the Canadians, even though they're outraged, the smart Canadians, there's a lot of Canadians out there that just are seemingly still on the fence or defending these kind of actions. Roughly 300 members of the Storm Alliance, a group that identifies as ultra-nationalists. So ultra-nationalists. These are people that apparently care about and they're patriotic to their country of origin, to Canada. And they're being painted as the bad people today. Think about that, right? Think about it when you have the political propagandists that have relied on these ultra-nationalists to keep them and establish some kind of power structure for these people that dominate and control and rule over the country of Canada. Now they're selling out their very subordinates for the fact that, hey, we need new incoming slaves, serfs, and subjects. So you domestic slaves, serfs, and subjects, shut your fucking mouth because you're getting in the way of our kind of narrative, of our kind of life we're trying to put forward and present. Now, because we need a whole new influx of slaves and subjects to take care of the political pundit and the ruling class, right? This is how disgusting these fucking people are. These are people that, like I say, they're the most vile, disgusting, and despicable people in Canada. For anyone to want to stand to defend them means either your paycheck relies on it or you're one immoral piece of shit. And claim to eschew ties to far-right white nationalists. Arrived at the border crossing near Lacal, where thousands of migrants have crossed into the country on foot without proper documentation. Listen to how CBC puts this. And this is John Paul Tasker, Parliamentary Bureau. This is a piece of shit status himself, right? But listen to the kind of dialogue. They don't even want to openly admit that these people are illegal immigrants. So, of course, they're completely distorting and twisting the reality of the facts so that they can kind of alleviate in some way Canadians' concerns for the fact that there's a mass influx of illegal immigrants coming to this fucking country and soaking up more and more of the resources that you have worked hard for to produce, right? Your incomes, your paycheck is now a percentage of that, and more of it is going to go towards paying for these illegal immigrants. These people that are coming to this country and crossing over illegally, although really does it look illegally? Because if you do something illegal in Canada, I guarantee you don't have a bunch of fucking cops out there holding their hands and say, oh, come on in, let me help you. You want me to carry your bag for you? Right? Go fucking steal something out there, or go fucking break any other Canadian law and let a police officer see you and see if they hold your hand and coddle you and act all friendly and take photo op fucking pictures with you, right? Don't think so, right? But because they follow the narrative and the bullshit fucking lies that their political propagandists and their political masters put forth and present, hey, look at what you're seeing. Like I say, fascists, you know what a fascist is? Right? A bootlicker or an order follower. Look at the fucking police. Look at the RCMP. Look at these fucking assholes. They'll do whatever their political masters tell them, and we're seeing the evidence coming in time and time again. It's undeniable. The video's out there. You can't fucking reject reality. Or you can try to reject reality, but it's there whether you like it or not. But these fucking bootlicking pieces of shit, or these order followers, are, hey, Trudeau said this is what we should do, so we're doing it. Even though we probably some of them in the back of their head saying, "What? Wait a minute. Why are we fucking allowing all these fucking illegals come here? They're fucking illegal. Aren't we the police? Aren't we supposed to be all about law enforcement? Well, apparently not. Only what it comes down to, the only laws you're meant to enforce is what your political masters put forth and present that they want you to. So it's all ruled by edict. It's all ruled by, dictatorial mandates, and that can change. So there's no steadfast rules in Canada, right? There are no such thing as steadfast rules, like as if you were to play a board game or if you were to play a video game. The rules are always the same. You can't change them. They're steadfast, intrinsic, and insightful enough to the fact that you should know them going into it. Just like math or science, you should know the formulations. But these fucking assholes, the ones in government and their media propagandists, they think they can change the rules anytime, anywhere, right? So are they really rules when you can change them anytime you want to suit a political narrative or to suit a particular political party? Of course not. They're not steadfast rules. They're definitely not principles. They're just mandates and edicts put forth, whether they were done through a king or in modern Canada through a prime minister. To me, it's no fucking different. No fucking different whatsoever. Just the names and the tags, right? The labels that we use. But it's the same thing as if a king in old world Europe said, I demand that you fucking, prima nocte, right? I demand that all my noblemen get to fuck your wife. If you get married, they get to fuck your wife first, right? That was an edict put forth and presented by, Longshanks in England, right? That was used towards the Irish and Scottish people. That was a political decree. That was the decree by the king, and that was the law of the land. The law of the land now is, hey, let all these illegal fuckers come on up here so they can, be good little serfs, slaves, and subjects to the ruling class, and the rest of you Canadians, hey, shut the fuck up. We said it's okay, so you shut the fuck up. We don't give a fuck about the rule of law. Our law is what we say, and what we say goes. And if you stand up in opposition to us, we'll point you out as being far right, as fascist, or whatever the fuck kind of fucking derogatory statements or narrative they try to put forth and present to people that are standing up for their rights, right? To be free from forced subjugation, coercion, and theft. How dare you do that, Canada? That's what your political masters, that's what these political hats, that's what these political propagandists and pundits are putting forth and presenting to you on a daily basis is, fuck you. We rule shit. You shut the fuck up, sit the fuck down, get the fuck in the back of the bus, and you know what? Don't speak unless we speak first, unless we call it. It's disgusting, Canada. It's disgusting. The fact that we sit back, or not we, I sure as fuck don't. As you know, that's why I make these videos. I don't sit back and allow this shit to happen, but a lot of Canadians do. That's just this article. I'll put a link to it in the description of the video below. Let's move on to the next one. Listen to this one. Hundreds take to streets in Peterborough in resistance against planned anti-immigration rally. So once again, CBC News, once again, another article is pointing out that, you people that are standing up for your rights or this social pretense of a social contract that they tried to jam in your head for fucking decades since you were a kid. You believe there's such things as social contract? Well, we're going to tell you that, hey, no, it doesn't benefit us, our political narrative today. So we're going to point out, hey, there's no such thing as a fucking social construct. Now, I'll admit, yeah, of course there's no such thing as a social construct or a social contract. But the pretense, the underlying fundamentals of what that was supposed to mean, that was pounded into our heads as kids. The whole holding your head in the flag and the nationalism, right? You know all this shit when you're growing up, right? Now they're telling you, yeah, all that stuff we tell you, yeah, forget about all that. We got a new political narrative. We got a new political dialogue, and you better shut the fuck up, forget all that stuff we told you and jammed in your head. We got a new message we want to send. Get on board, or we're going to show you where you really belong, Canadian society, and that's underneath our fucking heel. That's underneath our boot. Canadian Nationalist Front says it seeks return to Canada's original predominantly white European makeup. Well, that's what Canada was. Yep. That's just the reality of the fact, folks, that most Canadians in Canada, other than these First Nations people that, once again, another fucking political tribe and group that claimed ownership of this country. But yeah, your political hacks, your political narrative makers, your political pundits, your political masters, they said that we own this country, right? So like I said, none of these central planning dipshits, right, whether it's First Nations people, the tribe leaders, or the imperialists from old world Europe, they're all showing that they have no pretense of being consistent in their values or principles or anything they espoused in the past. They're political opportunists, and if bringing in large amounts of people from foreign countries into this country to become the new slave subjects and serfs to the ruling class, if that's a net benefit for the ruling class, yeah, they don't, like I say, they don't give a shit what you think about it. They're going to tell you that you either get on board or sit down and shut the fuck up. You ruled over in this country, Canada, whether you want to accept that or not. Whether you want to pretend that you're free. You know what? Canadians in Canada, you're like free-range slaves. You get to walk around on your little area, and they cordon off the area where you're allowed to walk around, and they give you certain rules. And as long as you follow those rules, then they'll give you some pretense of freedom, and you fall for that bullshit. When in reality, you should be able to look up and recognize, wait a minute, I don't have any real freedom. The only freedoms I truly have are what my central planners say I'm allowed to have. And if someone else, some central planner, some dictator, some politician has any pretense of authority to tell you how your freedom should exist, well, you should at the very least admit that you don't really have any true freedom. It's a mystical concept that you keep falling for. Hook, line, and sinker. It's Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.